Hi, it's Lisa Steinkoff, the Houseplant Guru. Today we're going to talk about propagating an African violet from a single leaf. My Instagram post last night showed a single leaf that had made babies, and someone mentioned that they didn't know you could do that. So I thought I'm going to show you how to do that today. So I have a little African violet here, better for the camera. It's either a miniature or semi-miniature. It's called Cajun's Lil Love. And I want to show you how you can just take one of these leaves so you can see it. It's better to take not the most oldest outer leaves, but to take maybe one of the inner leaves that are a little newer. It will work better. These are the newest leaves, these little ones in the center. So I would probably take maybe this one, and I'm just going to reach in. I don't know if you can see that. Just to show you. You're going to reach in, and you're just going to take that leaf off. So now I have one single little leaf. So this is either, I can't remember if it's a miniature or semi-miniature. Don't hate me. But then I have, this is a standard size African violet leaf. So you can see the difference. They're both African violets. So all you got to do is, once you have this single leaf, and I have a nice sharp knife, and I'm going to, on a slant, cut the petiole, that's the stem, is the petiole of the African violet. So it's kind of on a slant, and you don't need, like for this miniature, a ½ inch, if you can see that, is just fine. Maybe that's about a ½ inch. And then I'm going to take a piece of, this is a little pot of African violet mix, and if you have an African violet mix, I would mix that with half perlite and half of the mix, so that it's better draining. So we're going to put a hole kind of on a slant. This is pre-moistened. I'm just using a pencil, as you can see. And I'm going to take this little leaf, and I'm going to carefully set it in there. Can you see that? All right. So that's the for a little tiny African violet. It will probably be, you'll be able to see it better on here. So this has a pretty long, this was a very big plant. It's called Buckeye Lady Love. It's a variegated, as you can tell. Variegated, if you don't know, means that it's more than one color. It's green and white. Oops, and it's got dirt on it. All right, so I'm just going to take this leaf. So you don't want to leave, you could cut it down here, right? I just cut it at an angle, if you can see that. And I could stick it in the soil. But it's better to have a shorter petiole, not more than 1 inch. So let's go down only about this far. And my friend Marge, who did the class last night, she said that it's better to cut the leaf so that it's kind of squared off. So that plant, this leaf, is putting all its energy into making roots instead of trying to support this really big leaf, right? So she kind of cut it in a square, which I'm going to do. Don't be afraid to do this. And if you don't want to do the square, I've done it many times without doing the square, and it was just fine. So I'm going to tell you what this is. I use a covered container because I'm not the best most consistent person with watering. I have a lot of houseplants, as you can well imagine. So I have this little cover, this little dish, and it gets a little cover on it. And this used to have a caramel apple in it. Yes, I like caramel apples. And this is at Kilwins. If you're from Michigan, if you're not from Michigan, Kilwins is a kind of an up north store. It used to be, and now it's kind of spread around Michigan. And I think maybe you can find it in other states now, and they have the best fudge, but they also have great caramel apples. So they come in this. It's got a little cup. That's where the stick came out. And I'm going to take a pencil. I just use a pencil, make a hole kind of on a slant, and I'm going to set it in there. And it's okay if it's propped up against the side. That's helpful, right? And you don't have to stick it all the way in. And then I have 2 of them. So that's why I'm using this bigger, I guess it would have to be all the way. You don't want it to lean too much because I want to be able to put the cover on, right? Hope you can see this. All right, can you see how that leaf is in there now? And I'm going to cut the other one. Let's move that out of the way. So I'm going to cut the other one. Remember, you're only cutting it on a slant, about 1 inch down. How about if I leave this leaf whole, and then we can look at it later and see what happens with that. There's a big difference. Okay, so I'm going to put that one in like that. And then I have I like to know when I did it. So this is Buckeye Lady Love. And on the back, the date I did it, which is 8/29/19. That's today. And then I can even put that there to maybe hold that leaf up a little bit, which is kind of a good idea. And then I'm gonna make sure will give it some more water, but it's pre-moistened, so I don't really have to. And then, oops. There we go. I'm going to put the lid on. It doesn't really matter if it hits the leaf, it's not gonna hurt it. And then I put it under lights, but you can put it, someplace where it's bright, on your east window. Just make sure it's not like baking in there, like on a south window or something. So those are gonna grow babies, and I'll show you. And then here's this one, and I can either put that in a container like that, or I can leave it like this. Just have to make sure it stays moistened, right? So if you have a lot of leaves, you can use your deli container like this with a little cover on it. That's if you have a lot of leaves. And in January at our African Violet meeting, we have a leaf exchange. So we bring leaves, and we all get to take some home and share. We share them with everybody. And this was in January. Don't judge me. They've already should have been separated. I mean, the mother leaf, as you can see right here, this mother leaf is already dead. So, and then here's its babies, and I wrote the names on them. Panda Paws, Flashpoint, and I planted these on the 14th of January. So here's all the little babies that are going to come from it. It didn't take that long. These have just been upstairs, covered up like this. $4.99, whatever was in here was $4.99, growing. And there's all those little babies, right? And then here's another yes, I like caramel apples. The caramel apple container. And I don't remember when I started this leaf. It's been in the basement under lights, and look at all of these little babies that I've got growing. So I just need to separate those and plant them up. That's for another day. And then I'll have all these little babies. All those babies came from one leaf. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments. But all you really need is an African Violet leaf that you maybe get from a friend. And you can get some really cool, if you have a local African Violet Society, you can get some really cool different kinds of African Violets. And you just get a leaf. We call it putting it down, which we're cutting it and we're putting it in some moist potting soil, and then we are going to have some babies. I hope this helps. Thanks so much. You guys have a good day.